continue things by speaking with Kryl to take on our next main story quest entitled Among the Abandoned. Kryl is eager to begin searching the research facility. While we've discerned the purpose of the research conducted here, the traces of it that remain might afford us greater insight into what came of it. Let us take a look around for information as well as the way to the upper level. Yeah, let's do it. And for this particular situation, we don't necessarily need to be in... this is one of the few places where you can be in a situation where you don't have to be armed to the teeth to inspect the area. So yeah, don't worry, we won't have to be finding any enemies to fight at all. We just have to traverse the facility and look for any clues. Yeah, you can even see my shadow running along the wall. In fact, let me put my Dragoon armor back on just to give you an idea. I love this attention to detail that you can just run alongside this wall with the light shining on it so brightly and you can actually see what you look like when you're running along the shadow. This is like so awesome. It's a shame we can only come here during the course of this main story because I really would like to just come back here and just be able to do this over and over again. But then again, I guess I could do this when the game makes it available for you to just be a tourist here. Yeah, that's very impressive attention to detail. I really like that. So we see this wrought iron gate behind Alice. A lift can be seen behind the wrought iron gate. As sturdy as it appears, the gate will likely resist attempts to force it open. A security panel is nearby. Perhaps a verification key will open the way. So now we have to look in two different spots for it. Start by going back the way we came. So yeah, we start by finding a mangled corpse. A journal lies next to the body. I was transferred to Yuweyawata station in order to train the villagers in the use of electro technology. While a child can quickly learn to operate common contraptions, it will be no easy thing for them to attain the requisite skill of developing new weapons. One which required no less than the manipulation of souls. Thankfully, two of my pupils have demonstrated great aptitude in the field, Kanaloka, the village chief, and Tishalja, a field chirurgeon, both of whom we were introduced to in the Echo. Further driven by their loyalty to our king, their growth has been remarkable. I dare to hope that before long, they will be able to carry out their duties without further instruction, and I may be relieved of my duty. You were relieved of your duty, alright. You'd find nothing that resembles a verification key. Perhaps you should search elsewhere. Very well. Encore of lighting effects. Now we check this part of the facility. Well, it's chilling over here. Over this way. You find a test subject's journal over here. Here's the key in this particular book. They're recruiting volunteers for a new experiment. I know I'm not as bright as the others, but they wouldn't laugh at me if I was stronger than them. This might be my chance. Soul transferred a few days ago. I can write. Can write good, yes? I am good. Very good. Getting hard to control strength. Today bit hand off a feeder. Cannot help it. So strong. Yikes. Yeah, you got fed the wrong soul. Hungry. Always hungry. Cannot control. Eat. I must eat. Am eater. Must eat. You find nothing that resembles a verification key. Yeah, and I think we basically got into the TLDR situation. Then over here we find an open cabinet. Here's the key in here. Supplies for the staff are neatly arranged within the cabinet. Among the various items is a manual outlining regulations on tranquilizing gas to be used in emergencies. You dig deeper and find a verification key, also be used to open the iron gate. I think we can all agree to that. Alright, let's go. So let us return to where we were going, where we came from.
You found the key? Great, I'll call the others.
By screaming? Because I wouldn't put it past you if you did there, Alex, eh?
It seems the key can be used to operate the lifts as well. Up we go.
Alright, going in. So, we can listen to the lift being used to go up. And find this place. Seems to be a command center.
So this is the observatory.
Yeah, so we can see the perspective of where the crater was that we fought the Tural Vidral in.
I didn't expect it to be similar, but this is a far cry from the temple that held Valikanmanda. All the machinery appears to be still in operation. I expect there are auxiliary systems in place to ensure that monitoring can continue even in emergencies.
I think so too.
The warnings indicate various anomalies related to the seal's failure, most likely. For blessing, we managed to fell the beast before it could cause harm.
Yeah, lucky us. Need to adjust my microphone a bit.
Right then, let's see if we can find some clues about Galurja's mother.
Well, looks like he's already looking.
I think I can use this terminal. Shell taught me how.
Oh, why don't we go have a look then? And so, what do we see?
There's so much data. I don't what we should look at.
I think he meant to say, I don't know what we should look at.
Perhaps we can narrow down the search by inputting the name Teshilja.
Yeah, how much does that narrow it down?
Ah, it brought up a lot of results. They all seem to say the same thing. Teshilja, Administrator of Experimental Treatments, Research Logs.
Research logs, huh?
This sounds good, doesn't it? Chances are the data is encrypted, and even if not, it'll take considerable time to go through it all. Then let us take it with us to the back room and have Shell analyze it. Agreed. Alright, I'll transfer it to this storage device I brought.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, did you bring a flash drive? Yeah, we're obviously not emailing this.
There, it's finished. Thank you so much for bringing me all the way here, everyone.
Glad we could help.
If you're happy, then so am I. Besides, I was able to learn more about my brother as well. It was a fruitful adventure for both of us.
Yeah, there's that smile. Oh, and the rain is starting to fall. Alright, let's speak with Graha.
And here we are. The authorities will doubtless wish to be informed about the facility and its contents. But first things first, let us deliver the data to Shale.
Alright. Alright, Luna, thanks for joining us. Let's proceed to get out of the rain and head on back to Solution 9. Alright, to Neonstein. Open the doors. They're Tassos. We're going in. So, Shale, let's bring the quest to an end.
Welcome back. Gulojal has already given me the storage device. There looks to be a wealth of data, all of which is encrypted, so I'll need time to process everything.
Alright.
In that case, Alice and I might take ourselves around the city and check on the people. Aye, their mood has us a bit worried. I don't know if there's anything we can do to help, but we'll see. Understood. I'll let you know as soon as I finish my work. Thank you. We'll see you again soon.
So with that, we'll take our 797 gil for completing this quest. Then we'll turn things over to Geode and move on to our next quest entitled Guidance of the Hhetso. Geode's concern is with playing upon his face. Odyssey isn't wrong. The mood out there is still grim. Some of the Turali remember a time before they were dependent on the Soul system, but even they're unsettled and wondering aloud if they'll have the chance to reunite with old friends and family before they pass on. With good reason too. The journey home won't be an easy one for those who have grown old. That's why it's mostly been younger folk who've been leaving for Troll, ones with no elders to care for.
Word of that problem has reached us in Tuliolal. My brother is doing what he can to see the Jacques Tural Railroad to start their operation so that people may come and go more freely. Unfortunately, the tracks go only so far as Vanguard, so some traveling by foot will still be necessary.
Even so, the railroad will make things a sight easier. How long before it's back in service?
I couldn't say. When I left for this visit, Kona seemed reluctant to make promises. But while Shade's working on the data, we could go and see the state of it for ourselves.
Good idea.
To Shaolani Station. Then I'll make sure to keep Kona informed.
Very well then. Good luck to all of you, and we'll be on our way into Shaolani. So on this evening here in this Wild Wild West setting, are we going inside? The answer is yes. So here's Walika and the train crew. Hello there. Vow of Resolve and Matthias Griffin to boot. What can I do you for?
We're hoping for some good news about the railroad. There's an increasing number of people looking to return to Tural that can't make the journey on foot.
I see. As it happens, the Vow of Reason is also on his way here to take stock of the situation. And is that him right now? Ah, Scratch the on his way. Yeah. Hi there, Kona. Oh, and you're not alone. You brought Mr. Alaneshbia with you. With a new look, but yeah, did our little Bun Bun finally outgrow his old clothes?
Stop that. As you well know, my previous attire was that of a gleaner, and I have chosen a different path. It was time for a change.
Are you sure about that? I mean, you may no longer be working as a gleaner, but you still got that same old tattered backpack with you. Complete with all the accoutrement too, including his boots.
You'd hear about the railroad too? It was in part for my sake that the original Dome Blazer was sacrificed, so I felt it only right that I assist with its replacement. Speaking of which, I assume Lamati has explained the growing urgency of the need. What have you to report?
The new locomotive was on track for completion, but we're having difficulty pulling her into the station in a manner of speaking. You see, when we used the Dawn Blazer to get into the dome, urgency outweighed all other considerations, but now we're back to our original problem. how to run the railroad without upsetting the inhabitants of Hhetso. That's a problem? That is the Ronik. Though the Hhetso that follow them are none too pleased about their Hhetso being spooked by the noise of the locomotive either. Can't we just put up fences around the rail lines or something? The solution I've devised to quiet the railroad should address that complaint. But the silent train presents a different danger. The Ronik will need to be deterred from wandering across the tracks. Yes, indeed. And I suppose we can't just blow the whistle at them or they'll panic and be put off their grazing again. Weren't the railroads plotted to avoid the Ronik's preferred grazing areas though? It's odd that they're getting so close in the first place. The Ronik's grazing patterns have shifted since the tracks were laid. I am not certain why, but I intend to ask the people of Hhetso for their insight. As a major proponent of the railroad, I have a duty to assist in this matter, and I too would hear what the Hhetso have to say about it. They are the ones most affected after all. Alright. I believe it will be best to begin by consulting their leader, Hhetso. The rest of you can accompany us to the Hhetso encampment if you like. Alright. Well, in that case, let's go and warp on over to Hhetso. So, upon our arrival, let's see what's going on. Yeah, in fact, lots of people are here to speak with the chief. But yeah, you might remember this guy. We spoke to him before Squid Game went into effect. Thou of resolve, thou of reason, I bid you welcome to our camp. But what brings you all the way to Hhetso? I thank you for seeing us. Our visit concerns the matter of the Dawntrail Railroad. So yeah, I'll go into detail on why it may be a problem for you, and an inconvenience. You too have noticed the Ronik's unexpected change in behavior then. My son Hhetso has been looking into this matter. Hhetso?
Yes, Father. Normally, we'd expect the Ronik to keep their favorite grounds nearby for a while yet, and despite a thorough search, we haven't found anything wrong with the quantity or quality of the grazing in Pyaryonan and Yuweyawata. Yet they refuse to keep where they usually would, instead pushing westward toward your railroad.
I certainly see no cause for this unseasonal migration. Nonetheless, should they continue to move west, we will follow. Yeah, you don't have a choice, as any true Hhetso would, I suppose. As you may have surmised, I am of Hhetso descent. Well, if the ears didn't give you away, or the tail. My parents traveled with the Ronik as well, though I myself have no memory of the experience. I was left behind as a baby, you see, during such a migration. One of the many sacrifices necessitated by a nomadic lifestyle, I am forced to assume. Yeah, flashback. A chance encounter with a kind Pelu merchant was the only reason I survived. Taking pity on me, he taught me his trade that I might fend for myself. I became a storekeeper in Toriola's markets, and that is where the Dawn servant found and adopted me. I had already been in the palace some time when Lamati came to join us. Like me, she had been cast aside by her parents. Although we learned differently, though. I knew the pain of solitude and wanted to spare her that suffering. As this tiny child's new brother, I swore I would always be there for her. Even as she outgrew you? Yeah, furrowed brow. Truly, I've never heard of the Ronik choosing a path so arduous as to force such a terrible decision, nor of any Hhetso willingly leaving their own flesh and blood behind. There must have been some exceptional circumstance. I cannot say. The idea of following in their footsteps that I might better make excuses for their actions never much appealed to me. But if they had a good reason why you want to know, or even if it might help you better understand the Ronik's current behavior. Yeah, such considerations, even for someone as wise as you. As is often the case, you are correct. It helps when you're given a choice. Though my discomfort with the Hhetso may arise from fear of reopening old wounds, rather than blind further for information or innovation, it would nonetheless see me repeat past mistakes. And to refuse to learn one of our country's treasured traditions would make me a poor Dawn servant indeed. Please, teach me of the Ronik and what they mean to you. I promise to listen with an open mind. We will be delighted. In the meantime, your companions are welcome to look around. Alright. Will you learn of Hhetso culture with me? I should like to approach this with the fervent curiosity that you and my sister share, but it would be useful to know whether I am doing it correctly. Fair enough. Then it's settled. You'll learn more of the Ronik and we'll have a look around the plains, and perhaps in the process, we'll find the answers we seek. Alright then. Yeah, he even has this lantern still on his backpack and everything. Alright, there's Hhetso. Eventually we'll find our way to you.
The quickest way to learn about our way of life is to do as we do. I hope you're not above manual labor.
I am not the most experienced, I'm ashamed to admit, but I shall put forth every effort.
That's all we ask. Take these tools.
Alright. And a pair for me as well.
Now introduce yourself to anyone who looks busy and ask if you can help. They'll be happy to teach you what to do in exchange for another pair of hands to do it.
Let us meet back here later to show what we've learned. You got it. Yeah, we gotta go to 4 different spots. So we see a playful Hhetso on the outskirts of the settlements.
You learn about the Hhetso way of life, are you? I may have a thing or two to share, but rather than talking your ear off, let me test your powers of deduction. I find my answers much easier to recall later if I arrived at them myself. Our Hhetso provide us with something that we use in medicines, poultices and soap, to drive away pests and to sustain our fires. What is it?
Yeah. Is it bones, hooves, or is it dung, or is it meat and organ meat? But no, we want dung. Of all things.
It sounds like there's a story there, but that is indeed the correct answer. We've discovered myriad uses for Ronik chips over time, each a boon to our way of life. Where there is a need, our Hhetso always provide.
Yeah, all you need is a little bit of shit. Alright, now to a troubled Hhetso.
This won't do. The wind will go right through it, and with me without my needle and sinew.
I need to sew the tent. Here you go.
Oh, these are precisely what I needed. I should be able to patch up the covering now. Given how often we pack up and reassemble our tents, they're bound to get the occasional tear. Fortunately, the Ronik hide they're made of is durable enough that we generally needn't worry.
Alright, next up. On the opposite side of the Aetherite. Here we have a talkative Hhetso.
I'm afraid I've finished with my tasks for the time being, but since you're so eager to learn about our way of life, why don't I tell you a bit about our migration customs? If you're here, you likely already know that the Ronik are our Hhetso, our guides, that we travel with through the turning of the seasons. We trust them to lead us to fertile lands and with all we need to survive. You may not know that sometimes the herd splits into 2 bound for different paths. On those occasions, we Hhetso must also part with half of our number.
Aw, even if it means you may have to split up families or whatever.
You may think it a strange and stressful custom, but over the years, it has seen us visit new lands and broaden our horizons as a people. This, too, is the wisdom of the Hhetso.
Even if it leads you blindly into peril and danger. And then finally over here near the shore of the lake. Amongst the monsters, but thankfully there do not appear to be any close by. And we gotta interact with the Ronique itself. As you stroke the Ronique's coat, you note that many portions are shaggy and tangled. This one's fur is a bit overgrown, but a good brushing should thin it out. Would you like to give it a try? You'll need the right tool for the job, mind you. A comb of the type you're used to would just get lost in the tangle like as not. Well, we were already pre-equipped. Ah, Shadowbringers sent a Ronique brush with you, did he? How like him. Now, just run it through one little patch at a time. Gently. Yeah, given how much further is the stroke. Do your thing, Mathia. Seems to respond nicely. You dutifully brush the Ronique until your arms grow weary from the prolonged battle with its coat. It appears much tidier now, though the same cannot be said of your clothes, which have acquired a new coat of their own. Good thing I'm in street clothes for this. Well done. With that success further, our friend here will be more comfortable in the afternoon heat and less susceptible to illness. A combed coat also makes it easier for us to identify injuries should the need arise. Alright. So now that we've established that, let's go ahead and speak with Shadowbringers to complete the quest.
You smell of the grass and the wind. Which is a good thing, I promise. You could nearly be mistaken for one of us. You even look the part.
Well, not quite. I mean, I am a Hhetso, quote-unquote, like you.
I have to wonder how Valkona's getting on. I assumed he would be reluctant to get his hands dirty, but it seems his wish to understand us was sincere.
Yeah, I guess that's why he's not back yet.
Ah, there he is now.
Just in time for the odds to kick in. He's bringing a Ronique along with him. Yeah. How you doing there, Spark Mandrill there, Blizzard Buffalo? Apologize for my tardiness. I was tasked with grazing the Ronique and ended up rather far afield. I found myself wandering hither and thither at my companion's inclination. To force us back to the trail it seemed inappropriate. But how was your own work? Have you anything to share? Yeah, let me explain. Hhetso life revolves around the Ronique, but in turn the people receive all they need, or they are treasured members of this community and as important as family. And so, yes, I feel the truth of this myself. While I was hesitant to leave my fate to the wings of the Hhetso rather than tread man-made paths, I arrived where I was meant to be all the same. Mine is not the only way, though at times I lack the experience to know otherwise. My inability to conceive of how a decision might be right does not mean that it is wrong. My parents had the duty to the Ronique as they did to me, and so I wonder if their leaving me behind was not so selfish an act as I once believed. Maybe one day we'll find out. I have no way to know, of course, and regardless, this has no bearing on our present concerns. We are here in service to the people of Toral, after all. Nevertheless, I thank you for helping me find deeper meaning in what we've done today. And I will endeavor to remain curious, especially where the Hhetso are concerned. Sounds like you're off to a good start though, Kona.
I'm glad to hear that, Valkona. You're welcome among our herd anytime.
And he's obviously very grateful for that, so we'll take our 1,123 experience points, plus a choice of more food. Wild banana blend for mage DPS, a roast Ronique for mage these are both actually for mage DPS actually, but the fruit and aloe jelly is for a melee DPS, and so that's what I'm taking.